Hello, Will Baker here with What's Happening Seaside with the Seaside Arts Council. Once again, the lovely Maureen Wells from the Seaside Arts Council. So we were off this past week, but the previous week we had the British Invaders and an awesome spotlighted sponsor, which was
Western Carteret Medical Center. And they were unbelievable, as in addition to being one of our top sponsors, they also came to SwanFest. They set up a booth.
They did.
They talked about what they do to the community. They had giveaways, and that really instilled everyone how important sponsors are to the Seaside Arts Council. Without sponsors, we can do nothing.
That's correct, and they were awesome with the giveaways and showing up, and they were also talking about the mental health aspect of these shows and supporting the arts, so people can get out and get their minds off of all the stuff that's going on. So very important. So coming up this week, we have
the Dust Parade.
All right, Hank Barbie and the Dust Parade. They are an awesome bunch of musicians. You will be entertained. And our spotlighted sponsor is going to be
Poor Man's Hole, which is located on Front Street, right in downtown Swansboro.
And they have a plethora of collectibles and things to go in there and just look at. I mean, you can go in probably 4 days in a row and see something different every day. So because they support us, we need you to support them as well. And that's what we're all talking about. The main focus today is support. A lot of people, like myself, think that the Arts Council is part of the town. Well, it's not, ladies and gentlemen. It is all about sponsorship and about donations, which we need you to do. And one small thing you can do as far as a donation is purchase one of these lovely t-shirts. Now, this design here was done by a local artist, Mr. Gary Edmiston. He's usually around on Sundays, so make sure when you come this weekend to see the awesome band, buy one of these t-shirts, 20 bucks, but for $20 you also get a chance to win something at every concert. They'll have a drawing during the concert, and all you do is you look for one of the staff that's wearing one of these gold t-shirts, and you get a ticket, put yourself in the drawing. That's for every weekend. So make sure you buy one of these t-shirts, show your support. And today we're going to highlight one of the staff members and the volunteers for the Seaside Arts Council, Mr. Lee Butt. So Lee, come on, we're going to talk to you for just a minute. And thank you, Maureen.
You're welcome.
All right, and with me now is Mr. Lee Butt. Now, some of you may know Lee because he is also part of a very popular band in the area, which is called Heartstop.
That's right, Heartstop.
And the biggest thing about Lee, though, is the fact that he is a supporter and a volunteer for the Seaside Arts Council. So how long have you been with the Arts Council, Lee?
I think it's going on 3 years now. So I started out, actually I just started out as a volunteer, and I got asked to do the compliance officer role, which is what I do now. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
So tell us a little, what exactly does a compliance officer do?
Well, the Seaside Arts Council is an all-volunteer organization. It's a 501c3. Basically, what that means is it's a non-profit organization, and so we rely on donations and things like that, sponsorships. And what I do as a compliance officer is I just make sure that we stay in compliance with all the laws that North Carolina sets for 501c3 organizations. We make sure that we don't do anything illegal when we have any kind of when we do bingo or anything like that. We just make sure we get the correct permits and things like that, and we don't have we don't have any kind of hiccups as far as violations of those orders or those laws. So,
and as we were saying earlier, that a lot of people like myself until I got involved assume that the Arts Council is part of the town and the town takes care of all this stuff, but they don't. So they have to look after everything, legal aspects of everything to do with it has to be covered by volunteers like yourself.
Right, and actually the president, Rich, he's been in charge of SwanFest for a couple years now, and he has to go through getting the permit to use the Pug Pavilion and things like that, and those are the sorts of things that we make sure that we're in compliance with.
Right. And that's the other part of it, is because you have to organize, and all these things cost money and take time. Can't say enough about thanking people like Lee here who do donate their time and their talents to making sure all this is done. And there's more to it than just the Swan Fest. Everything that's arts related we're talking about here. We're talking about dance, we're talking about actual physical art and things like that. And every event you see that is put on by the Seaside Arts Council is really dependent on you and your ability to volunteer and donate and sponsor these events. And just like these t-shirts, we'll say that one more time, make sure you're buying these t-shirts.
You don't have to actually be on the Seaside Arts Council in order to volunteer. I mean, we look for volunteers at every event. just any way you can help out the Seaside Arts Council. And it's not just Swan Fest that the Seaside Arts Council is in charge of. They do art shows and paint outs and things like that, dance shows. We try to incorporate all the arts in the Seaside Arts Council so that we can bring the arts to the coast. And again, that's not free. That's not something that we can just do. Bands come in from all over the areas to perform, and we have to raise money for those bands. So that's where all the we try to sell these shirts. We look for volunteers. We need donations. We need your help so that we can keep these things going. Swan Fest is one of the most expensive things that we do, and it's a free concert for you all. So we love to do it, and we hope to get more and more volunteers and more help.
That's right. It's free to you, but somebody's got to pay for it, and a lot of it's done with the generosity and the time that's donated by people like Lee here. So thank you for your time and your efforts and everything you do, Lee, so you can be like Lee. And thanks, guys, and we hope to see you Sunday. Come buy a t-shirt, donate your time, and volunteer if you like to. So y'all have a great week.